Hello fellow human, welcome back to another Dank Doggo / Entitled Parents videos. If you have an entitled parents or family relatives, don't hesitate to share your story in the comment section. The first story by Negative Barracuda. We need that house more than you because we have kids. BIL equals to brother-in-law and FIL equals to father-in-law. A quick vent. 5 years ago, my husband and I bought a house. We'd been saving for years for the down payment and the stars must have aligned for us to get it. Everything worked out perfectly. The house was a major fixer-upper but had land and we were happy with that. Turns out, brother-in-law had looked at the house when it was listed as well. They decided it was too much work to fix up and not worth it. They wanted major upgrades too, whereas my husband and I are very simple people. We don't need granite countertops or soaking tub or hardwood throughout. Met up with a family recently and brother-in-law was talking about how cramped their condo has become with 2 kids now. Brother-in-law decided this was the time to tell us that we should trade houses. I crap you not! Brother-in-law is very entitled. Brother-in-law proceeded to argue that we're only 2 people and their family is growing and could use the space. Literally suggested that we give ours to him and buy out his condo. I laughed. I knew he was serious, but I couldn't help but laugh. I'd never in my life imagined someone could be so damn entitled that they demand someone to give up their home for the sake of another family. Are you kidding me? Brother-in-law then got mad at me for not even considering it and began justifying all the reasons his family needed our house more. Oh, you think this would be the worst part, right? No, it gets better. We never finished the basement, so there's only 1 bathroom in the house. Brother-in-law informed me that if we trade the houses, that we would need to make some major upgrades first, because he wouldn't have time to be able to make any renovations. He was somehow, inexplicably certain that I would see the logic in this plan and just trade houses with them, because they need the extra space so much more. And now my brother-in-law isn't talking to me, because I laughed throughout the whole thing and wouldn't take him seriously. Win-win. Go ahead, punish me by not talking to me. At least then you'll stop trying to make me the bad guy because I have 2 spare rooms I don't use. My husband and I each have an office. And tell everyone how horrible I am because I couldn't buy out your condo at market value while giving you ours out of the goodness of our hearts. Last I know, he was now trying to tell my father-in-law to retire and move into the city so that they could have the farm. Joke's on him, father-in-law already talked about it and has left the farm to me and my husband in his will. Because we actually farm and brother-in-law thinks it's too much work. I always thought the internet exaggerated that people like this exist. I thought situation like this couldn't possibly be real. But what the hell are these people thinking? Okay, wait a minute. So they want you to give them your house for free, but you gotta buy theirs. Holy crap! We have here the second story written by you/ILoveMe39. Entitled Parents, leave everything you have to our children. I'm 39, successful, and I'm quite well off. My siblings, sadly, are not. My brother, 42, has 3 children. My sister, 35, also has 3, with 1 on the way. My youngest sister, 28, is married and pregnant. But she had nothing to do with the events of this post. We were all raised to believe that money doesn't matter. And all you need is a happy marriage and lots of kids to live a happy life. Being poor and having lots of kids was somehow glorified. Maybe because that's the way our parents lived and wanted to convince themselves that they didn't screw up. Fortunately for me, I didn't buy into that nonsense. I always knew I never wanted children. I focused on my career and on achieving success. Today, I have my own house, wonderful pets, and a loving boyfriend. My family, however, seems to think that there's something wrong with my lifestyle. My parents have often commented that my 5-bedroom house is empty without any kids running around. My siblings often tell me that I'm selfish for not having kids and actually enjoying my life. However, their disdain for my selfish lifestyle doesn't stop them from begging for money. My brother and sister have called me and asked me to help to pay their bills. Now, if it's something serious like clothes or school supplies for their kids, I'm willing to pitch in. But I always refuse when I'm asked to pay for trips to amusement parks, etc. I also paid for my parents to stay in high-end assisted living facility. They are my parents. I felt like I owed them this much. I have moved them to a less luxurious facility because of something horrible they did. However, I couldn't help but feel insulted when they sang praises for my siblings for their breeding, and following their footsteps and how my parents wish I had done the same. As if, among all their kids, I'm the biggest disappointment. For this reason, I've distanced myself from them. I only call or visit to check up on them, and don't let them be a part of my life. The other day, I got a call from my sister asking if she, her husband, and my brother and his wife could come over. I said, okay. They asked me to leave my fortune to their kids in equal portions. And if I did, they would stop asking me for financial help. They said this as if they were doing me a favor. You don't have kids, so who are you gonna leave it to? Asked my brother. I told them I was going to leave my money to charities and that I don't owe them crap. When they went on, "You're selfish," tirade, I told them to get lost. The next morning, I got a call from my dad telling me that they were disappointed in me. I simply hung up. The one family member who has stood by me is my youngest sister. She actually has her crap together, and I could not be more proud of her. And here's what my parents did to deserve the downgrade. After the altercation with my siblings, my parents tried a different strategy. They tried to sweet talk me, and suddenly their tune changed from, "You're so selfish," to, "Aw, we didn't mean it, let's talk." So after they kept pestering me have a word with them in person, I invited them over. Now, my parents know damn well that chocolate is bad for dogs, but my mom has tried to give them some on many occasions. When I tell her off, she always comes back in with, "But maybe they like it," and "I was just being nice." This time when they came over, I left them in the living room and went to the kitchen to get some refreshments. While I was there, one of my dogs came over to greet them. I could see them from the kitchen. My mom petted him for a while and then reached into her purse and pulled out a bar of chocolate. She broke a piece and was about to give it to him when I stormed over and knocked it out of her hands. My parents looked shocked. I was enraged. Even after being told repeatedly that chocolate is bad for dogs, they just didn't get it. When I asked my mom what the hell she was doing, my dad actually started yelling at me and told me I was being rude. I told them either they were complete idiots or they were intentionally trying to hurt my dogs. I told them I was sick of their BS, and they were on very thin ice with me. When they tried to argue back, I grabbed my dad by the arm and walked him out of the door. My mom followed. This was less than a month ago, and a few days ago, they were moved to a much less cushy facilities. They won't be mistreated. I would never allow that to happen. But all they have are nutritious meals, medical care, and a television they'll have to share with others. The nice fully furnished mini apartments they had earlier with all kinds of luxuries will be soon a distant memory. Lastly, to all those assuming I'm a man, I'm actually a woman. Well, good for you. Do not let those greedy people have your hard-earned money. Next up, we have the third story shared by /Shy Girl Turned Sassy. Entitled Aunt and Uncle, how dare you make your daughter your successor? Our son deserves that job. My boyfriend's father recently announced that he plans to retire in a few months and hand over the reign of his company to his right hand. In other words, his daughter and my boyfriend's sister, Shania. Name change. She has been working with him for over a decade and has played a pivotal role in growing the company. She's an astute business person, and everyone agrees that she's the ideal candidate for the job. Everyone except my boyfriend's parental uncle, entitled uncle, and his wife, entitled aunt. And when they heard about this, they were horrified. How dare his brother put a woman in charge of his business? How could they overlook their son, boyfriend's cousin, who was obviously more qualified for the job by virtue of having a man part? They didn't say it in so many words, but this is pretty much the gist of it. The uncle's son was denied a job at the company years ago on account of his erratic behavior and general buttholery. Back then, uncle insisted that his son should just be handed a cushy job at the company simply because he was family. Now, the uncle had the gall to expect his brother to make him in charge of the company when he steps down. His reasoning is that only a man should inherit the family business, and that it just wasn't a woman's place. The uncle actually seemed way more upset about his niece getting the job than he was about his sons not getting it. He and his wives kept repeating the same nonsense about how it's a huge mistake to put a woman in charge when male members of the family were available. Boyfriend's dad tried to explain to them why Shania was suitable for the job and the Yu's and EA's sons wasn't. However, it is notoriously difficult to reason with bigoted crapheads. They refused to listen and actually suggested that boyfriend's dad take their sons under his wing and to teach him. Because he is so smart and he can learn really fast. He'll run the company way better than Shania, you'll see. Also, since your son, in other words, my boyfriend, isn't man enough to be your heir, you should give our son a chance. They kept making ridiculous arguments like, what about when she gets married? She'll change her surname. My boyfriend's dad tried to explain to them that whether she gets married and change her surname or not is entirely her decision. And if she does not, how on earth would it affect her business acumen and leadership skills? When my boyfriend's dad and sister shut them down, they changed tactics. Yesterday evening, boyfriend received a call from his aunt, and she went on an insane rant about how boyfriend's dad didn't know what he was doing. She then tried to provoke my boyfriend. She told him since he was the son, it was his natural right to succeed his father, and he shouldn't let his sister rob him out of it. My boyfriend told her to never dial his number again and hung up. These buttholes knew very well that my boyfriend has never been interested in his dad's business, but I guess since their son wasn't getting to run the company, they decided to try to provoke a feud between my boyfriend and his sister. Because they're kind of sad, bitter little crabs who just cannot see other people happy. Well, you can choose your friends, but not your family. But you can always block them. Moving on to the fourth story shared by u/Nurse Adelaide. M wants me to give up seat on a 10 hours flight. When I refuse, she claims I stole the seat. Cas M entitled mom, EG entitled grandma, SB spoiled brat, me, well, me. This happened about a year ago, but I just booked tickets for another long flight and it made me think of this. I was flying from Hawaii to New York and had a layover in Chicago. The flight from Hawaii to Chicago was about 10 hours long, and I had booked my flight well in advance so I could have my choice of seats. I chose the window seat on the exit row, and as I was waiting in the airport, I was excited knowing my seat was going to be perfect. We start boarding, and I'm one of the first groups to board. So I make sure I have everything I need for my bag, put my headphones on, and start my Netflix binge. About 10 minutes in, the woman next to me taps me on the shoulder, e.g., "Hi, sweetie. I'm flying with my family and my granddaughter would like to be in the window seat." I should explain the layout of the plane. There are 3 seats on the left and right side and 4 seats in the middle. EG and her husband were sitting in the seats next to me on my side, and the rest of her family, M and her 3 kids, all between 2 to 8 years old, were sitting in the middle row. Me, I'm sorry, I chose this seat because I know how long of a flight it's going to be. I would offer to let her sit here during takeoff and then switch, but she looks really young, and I don't think they allow children to sit in the exit row. M overhearing our conversation. "So, you're just going to be heartless and deny my daughter her window seat?" SB, "Mom, you told me I could have it. Tell her it's mine." She starts having a temper tantrum and screaming while sitting in the aisle, holding up the entire line of people trying to get through their seats. EG, "Look at what you did. You broke that little girl's heart. I hope you know there's a place in hell for people like you." The flight attendant had heard the girl's tantrum at this point and started coming over. FA, "What seems to be the issue?" Me, "These people asked me to switch." M, "This girl stole my daughter's seat. She shoved her way in as I was helping my daughter with her bag, and now she refuses to give us their seat back." Me, I have my ticket that shows that this is my seat." EG, "She stole the ticket from my grandbaby. I saw her do it." Me, extremely frustrated at this point. It has my name on it, and I have my license to prove it's my name. FA looks over everything. FA, "This is her seat. Also, your daughter is way too young to be in the exit row. Please don't disturb this young lady again." The rest of the flight, I endured dirty looks from the family. At one point, EG tried to spill a drink on me as the flight attendant was handling it to me. Hopefully, this next flight I can just sit in silence. Well, this isn't just entitled parents, the whole freaking family is entitled. On to the final story shared by u/woof156. Entitled mom wants a newer model. This just happened a few hours ago. Me again from Animal Shelter, which is a magnet for crazy and over-entitled of the world. Enter a 60 years old entitled grandma. She comes into our shelter with this tiny little poodle that is skin and bones, missing hair and blind and seemingly deaf. The dog looks like it died months ago and didn't know it. Well, EG brings this dog in and says it's a stray she found. We ask her the basics. Do you live in this county? Is one of the biggest questions we ask. See, what some people don't know is that every county in a state has its own county animal shelter or animal control facility. Any stray animal found must be brought to that county's shelter, usually within 48 hours of finding the animal. It is illegal to take a stray animal from one county and surrender it to an animal shelter in a different county that you don't live in. Now that being said, EG doesn't live in this county. However, she claims to have found this dog running down the road in our county. Okay, it happens. We take the dog in and I get called to do its medical exam. I make sure the dogs and cats and whatever else we get has their proper shots and medications so they don't get sick while here or if they're sick. So we can at least start getting them healthy. This requires a lot of wrestling with big animals that can bite me if they time it just right. Who don't want to take their pill or get a shot? So I take the poodle into the bag, and the first thing I do is scan any animal coming in for microchip. Chip comes up instantly. I research the chip, and sure enough, it's from the next county over that EG lives in. Register to that county's animal control. This is a red flag for me. This tells me it's her dog. However, I follow through and contact the next county's animal control. They pull up the chip number and give me the owner's name, address, and phone number. It's not EG. Okay, I think to myself, well, I've been wrong before. I call the owner on the chip. The owner isn't EG, but it turns out the owner is EG's daughter. Me, hello, is this EGD? EGD, yes, who's this? Yeah, I'm me, from the county animal shelter. Are you missing a small elderly poodle? EGD, no, I got a poodle for my mother, EG, as a present back in 2016. Did it get lost? Me, no, your mother brought it in and told us it was a stray she found. She falsified information on a government form and abandoned her animal. These are pretty serious issues. She needs to come get her dog now. EGD, I understand, and I will call her and make sure she comes and gets her dog back. About half an hour goes by and my desk phone goes off. It's EGD's number. I think, okay, this is them telling me they're coming back. Nope. Me, County Animal Shelter, this is me speaking. EGD is sounding very frustrated. Yes, this is EGD calling back. EGD isn't coming back for the dog. She says she doesn't want it anymore because she thinks it's old and ugly. She demanded I get her a teacup chihuahua instead. Me, well, that's between you and her, but either of you, or her, need to come and get this dog. As it's an actual crime to surrender your animal to a shelter in a county you don't live in, let alone animal abandonment charges and putting down a false information on a government form. EGD, I understand, but I work in other county and can't make it in time to get the dog. Me, then your mother needs to be an adult and come get her dog. She's got till the end of the day, otherwise we'll be filing a police report. EGD, well, she's old. She shouldn't have to deal with this kind of stress. Me, she should have considered that before she lied to us and abandoned her animal. Have you ever seen this dog? It's skin and bones. You are aware that animal cruelty is a felony in the state, right? EGD, fine, I'll come get that damn dog. Me, we close at posted hours. And she hangs up. I go to lunch. I doubt that I will see her mother, but I'm true to my word. If they don't get here by the end of the day, they're gonna be dealing with the police instead of us. Later on, the poodle was placed with a senior dog rescue that already has a foster lined up. The pupper has been medically cleared so that they're going to be just fine. And as for EG, the police made contact. She committed the crime in this county, therefore she's having charges placed against her in this county. As for when the court date is, or any further information in this case, I won't be included in that, as it is now between EG and the county. I do know that it is not going to go well for EG. Sounds like the dog is a lot better off with you guys than her anyway. Good for him. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.